artist that really inspired me to do this. All right. My honesty hung in the doorway. Like a disappointed parent, you wish more than anything could have just been mad. And it's not that I didn't want to confess. I just couldn't risk being yet another tidal wave to hit the coastal town of your mind. To add more wear to the few canals you sometimes let me visit on the nights the green ferries let down the drawbridge long enough to let me know how you see the stars on your side of this island. Which, for a moment, let me forget that your honesty, like a barrel of a gun pressed to my chest, could have easily ended all of this, but didn't. And I'm still trying to reconcile that in my mind. Maybe the nights were always safer because secrets kept in the light hold more than what you had in mind or maybe could even begin to recognize. But you left too many margins open in this story. I fear that I'm going to have to finish it alone. Because isn't it true that two things can be true at once? That I can love you and still have to let you go, at least in the ways that I wanted. But then again, maybe the East Coast would know more than my West heart ever did. This one's called Joey. It's by Neil Hilborn, and Joey always told me, laughing, as though it were an actual joke, that he wanted to kill himself, but it never felt like the right time. There were always groceries to be bought and little brothers to be tucked in at night. Don't worry, Joey isn't going to kill himself 20 more lines into this poem. That's not the kind of story I'm trying to tell here. Joey got a promotion, and now he can afford Prozac. Joey is Joe now. Joe is a cold engine in which none of the parts complain. Joe is a brick someone made out of fossils. If you remove money from the equation, Joey would have been painting elk on cave walls. People would have fed him and kept him away from high places because, goddamn, look at those elk. I think that the genes of being an artist and mentally ill aren't just related, they are the same gene. But try telling that to a bill collector. We were 17 and I drove us to punk shows in a station wagon older than any of us. We were 17 and I bought lunch for Joey more often than I didn't. We were 17, and the one time Joey tried to talk to me about being depressed when someone else was around, I told him to shut the hell up and if he needed to change his camera. You know that moment when the cartoon realizes he's taken 3 steps off the cliff and takes a long look at the audience like we're all carrying the last moving boxes out of a half-empty house? Joey looked like that without the puff of smoke. He just played video games for a half an hour and then went home. Once I found Joey in my dad's office staring at a safe, where he knew he kept the guns. Once, Joey molded his car in the shape of a tree and refused to give a reason why. I once caught Joey in biology class staring at his scalpel like he wanted to be the frog, splayed out wide open, so honest. There's one difference between me and Joey. When we got arrested, bail money was waiting for me at the station. When I was hungry, I ate. When I wanted to open myself up and see if there were bees rattling around in there, my parents got me a therapist. I can pinpoint that session that brought me back to this world. That session cost $75. $75 is 2 weeks of groceries, it's a month of bus fare, it's not even a school's year's worth of new shoes. It took weeks of $75 to get to the one that saved my life. We both had parents that believed us when we said we weren't okay, but mine could afford to do something about it. I wonder how many kids like Joey wanted to die and were unlucky enough to actually pull it off. How many of those kids had somebody who cared, but also had rent to pay? I am so lucky that right now I'm not describing Joey's funeral. I'm so lucky we all lived through who we were to become who we are. I am so lucky. I am so